Dak Prescott says route running and miscommunication caused his 2 interceptions and that Cowboys loss in an upset to Green Bay Sunday. Dak thought both Dalton Schultz and CeeDee Lamb were going to cut in front of the safeties here, but clearly that did not happen. Shannon, do you agree or disagree with Dak?
Skip, what I tell you happened yesterday. I said there's no way Dak Prescott is going to throw that ball on a post that flat with the safety standing there unless he's anticipating somebody crossing the safety's face. I said what's happening is that these guys are ad-libbing, and Dak is throwing in anticipation, Skip. The safety, I'm supposed to break the route at 10, but I see the safety at 10. Instead of me going 8, crossing his face, I go 12 behind him. Well, Dak's going to throw the ball because he's like, oh, yeah, he's going to cut across his face. I'm going to hit him. Boom, touchdown. You go behind the safety, Dak hit the safety between the numbers. What? Skip, CeeDee Lamb has been a receiver far too long to keep making these blunders like this. Now, we just saw it last week against Chicago. He did the exact same thing, and Eddie Jackson picked it. Bro, you cannot tie the quarterback up like that. He's dropping back, his back foot is hit. He said, I already know. I ain't know where in hell this man gonna cut behind the safety and leave me exposed like this. Don't show. I see CD go to him after the play like, bro, what? I see Dak to him talk on the sideline. So ain't no way 2 guys talk to him, and you right. I'm like, been there, done that. You can't do the quarterback like that, Skip. You have to, even if you run into it, you can't leave the quarterback exposed because if you go behind him, he's going to hit the safety in the chest. Both times Dak hit the safety in the chest because he's anticipating the receiver crossing the safety's face. And those 2 turnovers, what did it do? Gave the Packers for it. It didn't give them. They drove the ball still. That 109, what'd you say it was, 197? That 197?
What?
The Cowboys had the 14-point lead going into the fourth quarter, including regular season and playoffs.
No.
197?
No, it's 4. Now I can't remember the number. 595 or something. 590.
So with all that being said,
what was it? I can't remember.
But Skip, it was early in the game.
It was way more than 197.
So with that being said, it was early in the game. Okay, I get that. The Cowboys still had a 14-point lead. You guys got to make that stand. But receivers, you can't do the quarterback like that. That's why quarterbacks lose their mind, Skip, when these guys got to be ad-libbing. Man, if the rock calls for this, you got to do that because he's throwing this ball in anticipation. This ain't college. When you wait till the guy get open, Skip, and then I rifle it in there, these guys are too good. You wait till a guy get open in the NFL and you see what happened to you. He going to pick it and go back the other way with it. So the quarterback has to trust. John needed to trust, Elway needed to trust that if the safety was there, Shannon was going to cross that safety's face. I'm not going behind him. On no route, it happens a lot of times, Skip, on it's called a bang 8. Some people call it a glance route. It's 7 steps, and you cross the corner's face. You see the corner sitting right there. You go behind the corner, and the quarterback back foot hit. He threw the ball. He going to hit the corner right in the chest. I'm going to collide you. I'm going to run into you. But you're not getting a pick on me. So, guys, it's not that complicated, CD. It's not that complicated, Schultz. You can't go behind the safety if the quarterback is throwing this ball on timing. If his back foot hit and he's releasing it, he got to because look where he is on the field, Skip. He got no choice. You can't wait till the guy get totally open in the end zone. He going to run into traffic on the other side. So I agree. I agree with that. I don't know about how good the route running is, but I do know it's some miscommunication on CD and Dalton Schultz because you can never, ever go behind the safety if the quarterback is throwing the ball in anticipation. And because Dak threw that ball that flat, I already know who messed it up.
When you were playing, did John Elway ever go to the media and say Shannon Sharp ran the wrong route?
No, he didn't do that. Hell no.
Well, don't laugh about it because this is serious business.
No, he didn't.
I am outraged over this. I am angered. I am disillusioned. I am stunned. I am concerned about the mental health of my football team because Dak Prescott just called out both receivers for both interceptions. Don't blame me, blame them. And to your points, you could be right about what you just said. You also could be wrong about what you said because I can't tell you how many times in my career I wrote that something happened and the next day somebody, a coach or a receiver or a quarterback, pulled me aside and said, no, you don't understand the concept of what we were trying to do. Yeah. It really wasn't his fault. It was his fault. I don't know for sure. You could be right. All I know is that both throws to me were bad ideas because they weren't setting up correctly from the get-go, because somebody named Rudy Ford, who has bounced around this league, he's been on 4 teams in 6 years. Once upon a time, a 6th-round pick out of Auburn by the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
A backup to the backup to the backup for a decimated Green Bay defense at safety is in the game, and he looks like the primary on both routes. He just looks like Dak is throwing it straight to him. I don't know exactly. Again, you could well be right about what you said. If you are right, then I can't tell you how wrong my quarterback was for going completely out of character after the game, because he's never done this.
Because you beat them up, Skip. You keep telling about Cooper Rush wouldn't have made those mistakes, so he got to get that pressure off of him.
I never saw Cooper Rush in 5 games do anything like either one of those two, because, as you know, they were first-half killers, only because Dak had the upper hand here. Dak is going up against the decimated defense. They don't have Rashawn Gary, who is their best pass rusher. They don't have Devondre Campbell, who is their best linebacker. They don't have Eric Stokes anymore, who is obviously their second best corner, but the other starting corner opposite Jair. So those are 3 huge pieces on that defense that are down and out. And I told you going into the game, Dak needs to take advantage of that, because the other way around is no advantage. Because look, Aaron Rodgers, I kept singing his praises all last week. He's a notorious cowboy killer. And he's the back-to-back MVP. And he's still highly capable of doing what you saw him do in the 4th quarter and overtime this past Sunday. Because he still has enough weapons. He's still got Lazard. He's still got Tunyon. And I just knew Christian Watson, because he's 6'4", and he ran 4.3. I just knew it was a matter of time. If he just catches one, and he caught that first one after he dropped the first 2, but that first long pass that he took for the touchdown, all of a sudden, it's like the heavens opened for him. He said, wait a second, I can do this. And then he did it again, and he did it again. And you know the rest of the story. My point is, they're Sammy Watkins can still, he's not great, but he's decent. And
he'll make a play here.
He'll make a play here or there, because he's made them his whole life. Once upon a time, he was the 4th overall pick by the Buffalo Bills. Okay, back in Odell's draft in 2014. So the point is, Dak had to seize the moment, because, as I called Aaron Rodgers, he's Dracula to me, and you got to drive the stake through him when you got him. And right away, he gets strip sacked and loses the ball, and you got to boom, boom. And I don't know what happened. I just know that happened for sure.
Well, you know one thing happened for sure also is that you took points off the board. Because that worst case scenario, you got to feel, I feel comfortable that Brett DeFred is going to make a field goal, short field. He's going to make a field goal, Skip, from short range.
The first one was it was 3rd and 10 from the 11. Like, you can't do that. That's cardinal sin to throw a pick in the end zone. Again, maybe if you look at the route combination on that one, CD lines up inside off Schultz, who's actually outside him, and tries to come off his tail. And then it's like there's some option going on there, and somebody takes the wrong path.
Maybe they want Dalton Schultz to cross the safety's face to clear him, so there's a window for Dak to throw it to CD in that tight window.
It's possible.
Maybe that's the case. But I just know there's no way Dak is throwing the ball that flat, Skip, if they're running the right route. The wrong route. He's just sailing over their head. But I just know you can never go past it, go behind a defender.
Okay. My problem is, when everybody leaps to Dak's defense, I keep asking, what has he done for us lately to earn the right to get the benefit of the doubt? Because you're ready to give him the benefit of the doubt. Well, does he deserve the benefit?
But see, this is why, Dak, you said that Cooper Rush raised the bar. And Dak has heard everything that had been said around national media and in Dallas. So sometimes Dak feels he has to make plays that he doesn't have to make because they're unnecessary at that point in the game. So he might have put a little bit more pressure. Let me be perfect. He didn't need to be perfect in that situation. Even if you don't get the touchdown, Skip, come away with points. Come away with points, and you're good. Not only did you squander an opportunity, you came away with no points.
Okay, and in the biggest picture, we go up there as 5-point favorites, and we're up by 14 points going to the 4th quarter. And we end up losing in overtime because Dak Prescott and company have the ball 4 times in the fourth quarter and overtime, and they produce 0 points.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the big picture of what just happened. And it's a crushing loss because of it gets even worse off last night because all of a sudden you say, oh, God, what if?
Right.
We could have been 7-2 to their 8-1, and we'd be just a game back, and we know we got them coming to our place. Yeah. Okay? So you squandered an opportunity against a team that was reeling, that was on the ropes, and you gave them too much life in the fourth quarter until finally the 2-time back-to-back MVP stood up and said, I got this, right? And he did get it against a defense that also got exposed, as you could say. You know, it couldn't stop the run, nor could Philly's defense. Maybe nobody's defense can stop the run because it seems like everybody's running wild now. It's like the new way of the NFL is, hey, let's just run the ball.
Everybody's so pass conscious that nobody wants to run the ball.
Okay. All I know is that when Rudy Ford gets turned into Ed Reed. That's who he looked like. Didn't that look like Ed Reed? Could we see those two plays one more time just to drive the stake through my heart, please? It's just so bad because he just looks almost like he is feasting on the 2 interceptions. Yeah, do we have them? Do we have here we go. Here we go. This is from like the 14-yard line. He's just, I don't know, he looks like intended receiver.
I don't know, Skip, but you see Rudy Ford pulling away from Pollard? I don't know if you saw that, Skip, but I saw that.
He did. And then this just looks like, what? It looks so bad because Rudy Ford's looking around like, seriously? You just threw it right to me? I don't know. It's just hard to defend. Again, you could be right. Maybe he's supposed, but if he's supposed to cut across Rudy Ford's face, boy, we're talking about a 10-yard difference in the way he ran the route, right?
Look at this. Watch what he does. Look at this. Dak is starting to anticipate him. Look what he does.
Okay, but Rudy Ford caught it maybe 15 yards in front of CD.
Skip, you know what happens is CD see Rudy Ford. Guess what's going to happen if Dak throw the collision? Bang, bang. I don't want that.
Okay, well, you don't want that. And that brings it back to the Juju play in the Kansas City game.
Right.
Mahomes is leading Juju into big trouble, where the Cowboys used to call that a medicine ball. You know, like that. That's you're going to need some medicine after that ball, right?
Yeah.
But the point is that, to me, to my eye, and it's easy for me to sit here in this chair and read this in hindsight, but they both look like bad ideas where no matter whose fault it is, in the end, it's your fault. You can't even try it because Rudy Ford is lurking, man. He's just sitting in the middle of the field saying, please throw it here. And Dak, as you well know, anything over the middle is double dangerous because there are too many people who can get their hands on the football. So to me, they're uncharacteristic because the Eddie Jackson one against the Bears, it's the same idea. It looks like the same play all over, deja voodoo, right?
Skip, what's going on? Because what does a lot of these plays have in common? Is Dak throwing the ball to CD? Dak throwing the ball to CD?
Okay, but it was CD's breakout game, especially with Dak. So my only silver lining is, well, at least I got that going up to Minnesota where CD has had some big games before.
Yes.
Okay, but in the end, how could you call out those 2 guys after a game that you lost and put it on them? And you could be right. It's because the pressure's building. There's some Cooper Rush raised the ball. Yeah. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I just do sleep number commercials.
You know, I don't really like snitch on my homeboy, but if you talk about who did it, he did.
It was just so, okay, the throws are out of character, and the post-game reaction is even more out of character and out of line.
Skip, you know how I feel about airing any laundry. Because I believe Dak could have gone to CD. It's like, bro, what you